Discipleship is that hidden secret, the key to national transformation. We can desire for Nigeria to change, pray for Nigeria to change, vote for Nigeria to change, until we produce the kind of men that can actually deliver the goods. It will not happen. We can cry about corruption, pray against it. We have to produce the kind of human beings that Jesus wants us to produce. Okay, so that is it. Discipleship is the heart of the Great Commission. And then, what is the core? What is the heart of discipleship? What exactly are we asked to do when you say go make disciples? What exactly is that assignment? Then I'll give you a definition of discipleship, or what a disciple is. What exactly is that assignment? Our assignment is to go and produce men and women that are like Jesus. Actually, maybe I should read something here. Romans chapter 8, verse 29. This is the most important thing to the Father. This is the most important thing. Because on this hangs every other thing. The success of our churches, the success of our ministries, the success of our society. And I would dare also include this. If you're a businessman, you run an organization, even the success of your organization. Because human beings that are not properly formed will be a problem even to your organization. So, I called Romans chapter 8, verse 29. For whom he did foreknew, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that Jesus will be the firstborn among many brethren. Okay, discipleship is that process you engage to produce this output. There is, every system has input, process, and output. Then the ultimate outcome. The input is evangelism. Because you have to win people before you can have raw materials for discipleship. So the input, that's why he said go. And if you read the other places where the Great Commission was given, because when you bring them together, you get the full picture. The reason he said go first is that you actually have to evangelize and win the people. But once you have done that, all you have is the raw material. You don't have anything yet. So you can imagine those who are making converts and converting and leading multitudes to Christ are only supplying raw materials and nothing else. Meanwhile, the church is a factory that is supposed to be producing a definite product. The product is men and women that are like Jesus. So he said go. So if you read like Mark and look at the other Great Commission, there are 5 Great Commission scriptures. Every one of the 4 Gospels stated it once. And the book of Acts stated it also. Acts 1:8. So if you look at it, you will see what the total picture is. That's why Matthew 28 started with going. So with that, you bring in the raw materials, which is converts. If you preach the gospel, you bring them. Matthew chapter 15 says, go and preach the gospel to every creature. So you see, evangelism is the starting point of discipleship. But we do it and celebrate that we have finished our work. Just think about this. The church is a building. There are places God used that term. So you go and gather building materials, get stone, get wood, get all the things to sites, and then celebrate. You do commissioning. That's what we're doing. If I want to use another word picture for you, you want to make this beautiful amara soup or a dikaiko soup or stew. So you go to market, travel, get all the ingredients. You have meat, you have salt, you have oil. And when you assemble them, you throw party and start celebrating. Evangelism is the gathering of the raw materials. The process you now put the souls that you have won to Christ is discipleship. The output that you bring out is Christ-like people. So as I'm making all this illustration, now you can understand what the discipleship process is. It's not a class, a two-way class. It's passing people through a process of life transformation, personal transformation with an end goal. With an end goal, and that end goal is producing Christ-like people. But you know, a system, because this is the Jesus system we're discussing, for changing the world, for changing society, for transforming nations. Now, that system, a system has input, a system has process, a system has output for everybody to be conformed to the image of Christ. That is the output. Then a system has outcome. Outcome is the ultimate goal for starting that whole thing. And do you know what the outcome is? According to Matthew chapter 28, national transformation, societal transformation. You can see what Pastor Isaac was telling us about revival, that what we have is not it yet. Because revival will not only bring about harvest of souls, it will bring about transformation of lives, and the consequence of the transformation of life is social revolution, social impact, social transformation, national transformation. At that point, Nigeria will change when the people change first. Okay. I have about 5 definitions of discipleship. I don't really want to bother much on it. For example, you know that a disciple is a learner, is a student. Partial definition, but it's correct. A disciple is a follower of Jesus. Is somebody that has made Jesus his model. He wants to model his life after the master. Now, that discipleship itself, discipleship, is the process of spiritual formation.